So he uses the language here, Jesus cleans us, and he also is not only like a cleanser, but he's like a metal worker. And the way it would work in that day is that you would go out and you would pan or dig or sluice or however it worked, and you would get, it mentions it here, your gold or your silver, your precious metals. But the problem is they're not pure. There's a lot of impurities in them. They're commingled with a lot of other things that are not valuable or precious. So you need to separate that which is precious from that which is not. How do you do that? How do you separate like that? And the answer is heat. So he's going to talk about a refiner's fire. You get a lot of heat from the flame, you put the metal over it, and the metal melts if you get the high enough temperature. And then what would happen is the precious metal would fall to the bottom and the impurities would rise to the top. And then the owner would skim all the impurities off the top so that the metal became more precious, more valuable, more perfect. And according to some, they would say that when this process would begin and all of the contaminants were in that which was precious, the owner would look down and they couldn't see their reflection because it was clouded and muddied. But as they would heat and clean and heat and clean and heat and clean, and this process would happen over and over and over, they would know that they were getting to pure and precious because they could see their reflection in the silver or gold. What he's saying is, Jesus is like that. That in your life and in my life, there's character problems and sins and bad habits and false teaching and erroneous conclusions and self-righteous assumptions. There's a lot of dross in there. And the only way the Lord Jesus can get it out is through heat. And most of us don't like living over the flame because it hurts. It's very uncomfortable and painful. And then what surfaces is shameful. That's what I think, that's what I do. Man, I don't want people to see that. Like, keep that down at the bottom. Don't let that rise up to the top. What happens then is, some of us want to be pure and we want to be precious. We just don't want pain and we don't like heat. And there's always a lot of teachers going around saying, there's a way to be precious without the heat. Those are called false teachers. There's no way to be purified without the heat. Sometimes this heat you caused. You did something, made your own life pretty hard, and God's going to use it. Sometimes somebody else sinned against you, and they brought the heat. Sometimes Satan just attacked you, and he brought the heat. And the times that I have failed, the times that I have not responded rightly, are times that I was more worried about where the heat came from than what I was going to do with it. And that's exactly what's going on here in Malachi. And they've got a lot of why questions. Why God? Why me? Why this? Why that? Why them? Why now? Why? And how many of you right now, heat, you're over it? Financial heat, emotional heat, spiritual heat, relational heat, physical heat. You say, this is painful. Right? What's under my life right now, I would like to move away from. But God's got me there. And I can't go anywhere. Their mistake was, it hurts, he doesn't love me. That's not true. Just because it hurts doesn't mean he doesn't love you. Just because it hurts doesn't mean he's not good. You will not get all the why questions answered in this life. Don't start accusing God and questioning his character. Don't try to live your life to avoid all heat. because you will not become more precious and valuable. The Lord Jesus wants to look down on you and see his reflection in your character. And to get there is going to be some heat and cleanings.